Hello and welcome to the next video, in which I'm going to talk about the main lead. Well, the one that plays the main melody anyway, and it's this one. No, it's this one. Now, in the actual song, there is a lot more to this lead, e.g. this bass and this bass, which sort of come together to make the whole thing. But those will have their own videos. Today, it's this. Well, I say today, I do make a lot of videos in one day, so I mean, but you know what I mean. And surprisingly, it's a very simple sound. If I just click this part switcher to show both parts, it's pretty obvious how I made it. Like, you could just take two freeze frames, paste them into Paint, and then copy my settings, because that's all there is to this patch. I think. I'm pretty sure there's no envelopes or anything like that. Nope, there's no envelopes or anything like that. So, I suppose I could just remake it, even though there isn't too much point. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, just rub that out. Rub away those bad thoughts. Okay, well, saw wave. Bit of Harmonizer. I think basically my rationale for this, what I do sometimes, is have one part in Harmor which stereo-wise is really, really wide, and sort of pitch-wise is sort of mostly high in pitch, but also sort of very wide. Like, it has lots of different pitches in it, including lots of high ones. So basically something that's very broad in pitch and in stereo. And then, in part B, have something that's very narrow in pitch and narrow in stereo. So that's what I did in this. So all I did was take the Harmonizer, crank that bad boy to 11, have plenty of unison, and I'm just copying the settings from the left, to be honest. And that looks like all the important stuff that went into part A, to be honest. Part B was pretty much the same deal, but a lot less of everything. So I only turned up the amount on the Harmonizer and not the width or the strength. Less unison voices, less unison panning and pitch, and didn't even touch the phase. So A is a lot wider in pitch and in stereo. And then you just sort of mix them both together. So I often do that when I'm making a super saw or something. But today, for whatever reason, I decided to change part B to a square, so I had a mix. And that's all there is to this sound. Now, if you are going to do this to make a super saw or something, you might want to play with this. So, to get exactly what you want, you might want to mess with the mix level. But this is all there is to this lead, as far as I can tell. Ah, except for the fact that the square wave was pitched up an octave here. I forgot about that. That is dead on. Apply directly to the forehead. What a joke. Yeah, and as for effects in channel 11, okay. OTT, we can ignore that one. Chorus. I don't really know what I changed from the default, to be honest. Probably not much, knowing me. I can't be bothered to detach it. But whatever. Let's just examine it. Oh yes, effects in Harmor. There were none. Okay. Yeah, OTT of course. Free chorus. I probably will have just screwed with the delay and the depth, and maybe the stereo, and that's probably it. Just to ear, to be honest. As per usual, an EQ. And like I'm pretty sure I mentioned before, well, A, cutting out all the bass, so there's room for the other basses that are layered with it. That's very important. Because it's layered with basses, to make room for those, I cut out all the sub. But yeah, like I said, I cut out this because a lot of the time what I do is take a massive, huge, great big thing like this and try and find an area I hate the sound of, and then cut it out. Ah, that's nicer. So It doesn't sound very different, to be honest, but whatever. Fruity Send, that we all know and love. I'll give you approximately no pounds if you can guess why I used that. And finally a reverb. I think this reverb was added right at the last moment. Like after I finished the song and I was going through it at the end, I added the reverb. Because the whole time, it was like this. Because I usually really overdo the reverb, and so in this song I barely use any reverb at all. Although actually, now that I think about it, I probably did, but yeah, I keep the wet level very low and the decay time relatively short. Because I think, especially in something like glitch hop, where every note should be distinct and there's gaps between them. Like, it's not like a long, smooth, flowing melody, it's more sort of choppy and sliding. It's very important not to use reverb to mess up all the gaps between stuff. But yes, other than that, that is the whole entire sound complete. And I will see you in the next video, where I will talk about main bass number 1. But actually, now I look at this text file, I realise I forgot something quite important. And that is that audio part. So thank goodness I looked at that. All I'm talking about there is this, which is actually on the wrong lead, and I should have done this in a previous video, but never mind, I've uploaded it now. You're just going to have to deal with it. Yeah, so it was just the original lead from the introduction, so this one. All I did was render it to audio so that I could cut it abruptly like this. I could, I suppose, have just automated the reverb amount, but that's hassle. So I just rendered it to audio and deliberately cut it off, so it sort of sounds like a glitch, I suppose. So it sounds like the song is repeating, not unintentionally, but it's supposed to sound sort of wrong, different, a mistake. I don't know how to describe it, but like not congruous with the original. But whatever. You probably subconsciously knew why I did that. Anyway, that just about does it for this video, and I will see you for main bass number 1.